This is the Global Broadcasting Service, serving remote outposts since 1928.
Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express Monorail.
Caramba, we have something really big for you today.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
This is the DBC Pod with Phil Schoen and Jason Dodge. Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's pod. This is a show for the week of October 28th, 2024. Happy Halloween in 2 days, and we're about a day late, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil and I were mourning the play of the New York Giants football team. That was, we're not an NFL podcast, so basically we're sad.
Yeah, we pushed back the recording so we could watch the Giants game on Monday Night Football, and we chose poorly.
We definitely did choose poorly. That being said, happy Halloween, Phil.
Happy Halloween. Yeah. And related to that, what I think is a good choice people could make is I thought I would throw in a couple Halloween themed related DBC recommends to kick off the show and start of the season. One is the Marvel series that's currently on. Actually, by the time you hear this, the finale, you might be able to see the finale, but Agatha All Along is currently on. The finale comes out this week, and I think it's been an excellent show. One of the better Marvel Disney Plus shows, and it seems to be doing pretty well in the ratings and stuff. And the other one I was going to recommend, because it's a year ago or almost a year and a half ago, I just never saw it, the new Haunted Mansion movie that I guess came out last July.
I could have sworn you saw this. I remember talking about it, and you were like, I'm about to see it or whatever. I can't believe it. It's so good.
I hadn't seen it. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. I know it didn't get like the best reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, but I thought it was really fun, and it really paid homage to the ride. I think of all like the movies that have come out, like inspired by an attraction at Disney, I think this one was the most sort of faithful to the attraction and stuff like that. So if you hadn't seen it, I recommend seeing it. And now would be a good time to see it right before Halloween comes up. And then if you're not watching Agatha All Along, I think it's a really well done, well crafted. They tie things between the episodes. Just highly recommend both of them.
Phil, it's amazing what happens when you hire professionals that know how to write a TV show.
I know. It feels much more like a TV show and not a long movie cut up into pieces.
A runoff sentence, runoff movie.
Exactly.
So Agatha All Along, I can't wait. I mean, this is Tuesday, so by the time you're listening, it's going to be tonight. If you're listening the first day, Agatha All Comes Along. It's what, 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-episode finale, yeah.
I can't wait. This show's been absolutely fantastic. When you haven't watched it, shame on you, but if you've been waiting to just binge it, I understand. I get it, and it's well worth the wait. However, I know these showrunners are going to be involved in a couple other projects from what I hear, Vision Quest and stuff like that. This was normally I'm like, I will binge something because I can't stand waiting and everything else like that. This show, the way it's been written, I don't mind that it's like old school, like you watch an hour a week and then you watch, like you read the reactions, you talk around the water cooler, so to speak, that type of thing. I think it's done a great job doing that. And I don't really feel the week in between other than just the normal anticipation.
Yeah, for sure. So I did put a question in here, just if there's anything else you're doing to kind of, whether it's Disney related, I guess, or not, but to get into the Halloween spirit, since it is this week.
It is Halloween in 2 days. No, I don't do anything to get into Halloween spirit, even though I love Halloween. It's like my daughter's favorite holiday. My family is so busy at this time of year with my son plays 2 sports. My 2 daughters play 2 sports, and we don't have any free time to actually get to the Halloween spirit, unfortunately. But we do the normal stuff. We decorate the house. My wife is very crafty. She has some things around. We have a 12-foot skeleton in our front yard. We're one of those people. And my daughter made me hang up like a 16-foot spider web on the side of the house with some fake spiders on it. So that I guess we find our way, but nothing specific though. Gotcha. We don't have like a specific movie or stuff like that, like we do for Christmas.
Gotcha.
How about you?
Yeah, we're similar. We usually do watch, although we haven't gotten to it this year. Maybe we'll have to do it in the next couple of days. But we usually watch Halloween Town. That's kind of our traditional Disney Halloween movie that we like. And then our block just gets really into Halloween. There's a decorating contest every year, cool. And like some of the houses they have like tons of the animatronics and themes and stuff like they go way overboard and stuff like that. And then we get 400 or 500 kids on Halloween trick-or-treating up and down the
Whoa.
block. Yeah, so it's
So
pretty big here.
in my neighborhood, we live at the top of a very long road up in the hill. We live on a court, and there's like 5 houses on our court. But if you go down the hill, there's a couple of different areas where there's townhomes. So it's more doors per square foot. Right?
Yeah.
It's more densely populated. So that's where all the kids go. You have to climb up the hill and come up by our way.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we typically see 0 to -1 a trick or treater. So we never get to see it, but we always go down and have a good time with our neighbors. So
Nice.
the kids have a good time for sure.
Good.
Okay, so on the show we've got 2 this is like a yin and yang show. So Phil's going to start talking about something about how disappointed he is with Disney. And then I'm going to talk about the excitement of my upcoming trip in literally 3 days. Right, I'm
Trying to
taking off
boost you
Friday
up
morning.
and get you excited for your trip, I guess.
Woo! So I'm going to talk about a little bit of my pre-trip planning, some of my anticipatory. I can't even speak tonight. My things I'm getting ready.
Your
for.
anticipation.
My anticipation for the trip. Like there's a word, right? There's an anticipatory. Is that the word? There's a phrase that says that. But in any case, we're not an English podcast, right? We're an English language podcast. Or we speak. Never mind. In any case, I'm going to talk a little bit about my planning, what I've been able to accomplish, because I used Lightning Lane Multipass for the first time, my 7-day outs, just like you were a couple months ago. So I have my comments and feelings on that. And then you kind of want to talk about some news with Epic Universe and how that relates to Disney and your expectations and all those sorts of things. But before we get to all that, I want to just make sure everybody remembers our social media accounts at the DBC Pod, everywhere you might be socializing. And, of course, our Discord server where the links are all over the place. And if you can't find it, please message Phil or myself on social media at the DBC Pod, and we'll promptly give you a link and an invite to get on there. I do want to make a note about one of our still newest members, Vikes Queen, who we keep guilting her into coming back to the Discord server to participate in the conversation. And she voluntarily came back. We didn't call her out. She came back for like a second or third time during the week, and now we've determined that this is now her personal podcast. So I'm sorry for all the other listeners as we talk to Vikes Queen again. This week with our topics. That being said, Phil, you're feeling a bit down about this. What is that all about?
It's kind of saying that, what is the pulse of, I guess, a lot of Disney fans right now, and I feel like I'm kind of in that grouping right now. I just don't feel excited about the Disney parks or planning a vacation. I keep coming back to, we haven't really fully planned all our summer vacations for next year. And I'm not really feeling inspired to book a Disney one. And then at the same time, all this exciting stuff is coming out about Epic Universe and Universal and stuff like that. And the draw is kind of pulling us over there. Even my 15-year-old was like, "Oh, are we going to cheat on Disney?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It seems a little bit more exciting over there."
Hey, she's very targeted with that question too, by the way. It's not like, are we going to diss Disney? It's like we're cheating on Disney because there's a love there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to be upfront. I'm not saying like, "Oh, I'm never going back," and Disney's full of corporate greed. Like, I'm not saying that. I know I'm going back. Like, that's what it is.
Everything is full of corporate greed.
Yeah, so. It's but just right now, when you think about, Universal shared a lot of information. The tickets went on sale for Epic Universe. The bookings for the hotel opened up. Pricing really didn't seem outlandish. They just released a video about some of the animatronics that are going to be in the Monsters Unchained ride, and they look amazing. So it's just like, It feels like they're putting out all these reasons to draw you to them. Meanwhile, Disney's doing price increases everywhere, Premier Pass. The Cake Bake Shop opened,
that's not Disney's fault.
I know that's not Disney, but the only positive thing is now Magic Keys are back on sale. But like, I don't know, it just feels like there's not a lot of like, what is the motivation for me to book a trip to Disney for next summer, other than we love Disney and nostalgia and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I put this on the Discord, but we're looking at what's the cost of the new Helios Hotel in that's
okay, hold on.
Oh, you want me to hold on? Okay.
Yeah, because I want let's stay with your first point, where you're generally down about Disney.
Yeah.
But you're high on Universal, right? So as of Tuesday this week, on October 29th, they released a like a showcasing of a bunch of different animatronics for like Frankenstein, Dracula, Werewolf, and the Thing? No, not the Thing.
It's the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Thank you. And they look awesome, right?
Yep.
Like they're not your typical like just robotic princesses or furry animals or something else like that. They're like legit kind of spooky, like realistic type things, which you don't typically see from Disney, unless it's Pandora, I guess, right? So I get what your feeling is, right? Because you go quite a bit, and you've been quite a bit over the last 18 months, right? You've had it down and back. You've been to 2 family vacations, right?
Yep.
You have December and then into August until you're down and back and all this other stuff. And then trips that you've gotten there for work. I mean, you've been there a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you're feeling is a little bit of like the local syndrome, right? Where you still have the magic, but you don't have like that nostalgic magic that you used to have. Like I've thought about the whole local type of thing before. And am I far off here, Phil? Or
no, that's definitely part of it. Like that, I've seen, we got to go on Tiana's the last time we went and stuff. So we've done everything that's new. So it's not the same thing as if we hadn't been there in a couple of years and that sort of thing. Whereas all the new stuff is down the street and kind of seeing everyone excited about booking that. There's probably a little FOMO and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, it's just, I keep coming back to like, what is it that I'm supposed to get excited about that's going to motivate me to spend a good amount of money to bring my family to Walt Disney World next summer versus other things we could do. And I'm not feeling that pull.
Well, there's going to be nothing new, right?
Right.
Or nothing significantly new. Test track, right?
Yeah.
Get ready for that. But there's no, you can't, like, this is why Disney's doing what they're doing, right? I mean, like, there's nothing that compares to a state of the art, brand new theme park that's opening up in Orlando, right? Like, you're never going to trump that no matter what.
Right.
And I guarantee you were definitely not alone about thinking heavily about Universal and being kind of like disappointed at Disney. Like, you feel 2 different things. You feel guilt and excitement, right? You feel guilt about wanting to go somewhere else, right? But you feel the excitement of something very new that you wish Disney was doing.
Right.
Right. So it's okay to take a year off of Disney. I mean, we're all fortunate to go to Disney once a year for the most part anyway, right? So, like, to me, my Disney vacation fandom, we started off in the first 6-7 years of going every other year because of kids and everything else. But since 2021 going into 2025, so that's 5 years, we're going to be going every year. And I'm going to talk about this when I start talking about my planning, but it's a struggle to find, especially if there's not a lot of new stuff, exciting stuff. It's a struggle to find something to get super excited about, right? So you have to rely on memories and nostalgia coming home and all this other stuff. I want to go to Universal. I was talking about like why not cut our Disney vacation short, one ticket and just Uber over to Epic Universe?
Right.
I'm assuming by July I'll be able to get a single day ticket, as expensive as it might be. Right? Don't you expect that?
Yeah. No, I agree.
So in conjunction to like wanting to do Epic Universe and wanting the fresh and shiny new thing, right? And Disney's being a curmudgeon and not doing anything new because, they don't want to spend the money, or they didn't want to spend the money, but now they're spending the money.
It's coming. I mean, the construction has started, and there's things that we'll get excited about in the future for sure.
However, you like to point out that Disney started raising prices on things.
Yep.
So what did they raise prices on, Phil? That makes you upset?
So they raised prices on pretty much everything. All the
but that happens every year.
That happens every year. It's just more of like, well, what are we getting for that? And I guess that's why when I'm comparing it, and I mean, I don't necessarily want to talk through all the math, but a comparable stay on Disney property and going to the Magic Kingdom versus staying at this brand new hotel, going to a brand new theme park. I priced out comparable stuff. It was like 60% more for Disney.
Well, let me ask you a question, Phil. Just play devil's advocate, because I completely agree with you. Yeah. It's incredibly enticing to stay at the Helios for somewhere between $300 and $600, depending on when, where, and what side of the building you're staying on. I'm totally with you for that. But how long are those prices going to stick around for? Like the Helios is not going to be $400 a night for very long if the park becomes super popular. That's like an introductory type of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
opinion,
and maybe that's what it is. And to be fair, like you said, maybe it's introductory price to try to draw people up, and it's smart by Universal if they're doing that. And obviously, Disney hasn't come out with their summer discounts for next year and stuff like that. So maybe that's what will build the excitement when they're saying, "Hey, there's not a ton new, but we have a new parade. We have Test Track 3. Oh, and rooms are 40% off or whatever." Like I don't know.
By the way, discounts are out up through June.
Some of yeah.
Just the first half of the year. Sorry for interrupting, but go ahead.
But so, come next summer, maybe things will feel a little bit differently. But just, on today, on October 29th, 2024, it's just hard to motivate me say, like, why is the Disney 60% more? Why is that worth it? Why is that a draw for me? Why should I pay that?
Well, I mean, the interesting question is going to be like the obvious answer is I want to stay at the Helios over any other hotel at Disney World because it's new. It's a new experience, a brand new park, right? I get that. But in 5 years from now or whatever, you've been to the park once or twice, maybe you skip Disney 1 year or something else like that, or 2 years, whatever it might be. Would you still rather spend your vacation at the Grand Floridian or the Polynesian versus the Helios at that point? How much is it just newness and how much of it is pricing?
True. I mean, well, I think it's the combination of the two, right? It's a brand new thing, a brand new experience, and they're not charging the premium or they're not charging as much as they could.
Like you could have stayed at a Universal hotel and just Ubered over or bussed over or something over to Disney. There's something about Disney property.
Oh yeah.
That compels you, right?
Right.
So my question is, the cost is the cost, right? Let's say the cost stays the same, which I don't think it will. But like when the newness wears off, how much does that factor into your mindset? How much is it newness and how much is it like the price?
I guess it's hard to say. I guess we'll see what the experience is. And like, we don't know, some of it's the unknown, right? Like once it comes out and we experience it and maybe it'll be amazing and maybe it won't be. And we'll have to decide from there. But I'm sure some of it is definitely the newness. And like I said, just we haven't experienced it, and the unknown can be exciting and that sort of thing. And
I mean, I think that's what that is. Honestly,
I think it's a lot of it, but I think it also is feeling like that they're not being as greedy, for lack of a better term. They're not pushing the prices as much as they could. They're trying to draw people in by having this new experience and not maximizing the cost of it.
But they can't. They would never be able to charge as much as Disney because Disney offers way too much compared to Universal, right? Some people might quibble quality of hotels and all this other stuff, amenities, which Universal might win on generally. That's what people most I haven't experienced most Universal. But again, vacation buck for vacation buck, more people will still go to Disney World than Universal, right? There's a value there. So it's hard to argue that Universal should be at the Disney level right now. I mean, like, how, I mean, like, because you now are, like, you're saying that Universal could be charging Disney level prices, $200-something per ticket for entry.
At least for opening day and stuff like that, for sure.
And $600 hotels. We're conditioned by Disney to expect those prices. Universal's cutting it low, but that's the expectation of Universal to be around that price point. Right. So out of the blue, if Universal all of a sudden increased their hotel prices by 80% and added another $40. Now, granted, these are not opening day tickets. These are tickets for APs that are currently right now, right? So we don't know what
the general public ticket could be. It could be a little bit.
Does your opinion change if it's $180? If the AP gets you a $25 discount?
I mean, not that much. I mean, if all of a sudden it's $300 or something like that,
I don't think they're doubling it.
Right.
Either. I mean, I think it's still going to be under 2, but I think it's going to be closer to 2 than it is. What was it, 156?
It's 156 right now. Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, they're doing some really great marketing, right? They're, they know, everybody knows that Disney's price conscious right now with all of other price increases. And I think they're doing a good job getting underneath expectations, which is still expensive. It's still a $60 theme park ticket and a $400 to $800 or $400 $600 a night hotel room. We only got the cheapest with a 4-night stay versus a single night stay. That it's not exactly apples to apples, but it's within, I would say, like 10% ish, right? So it's not drastically different. I don't know. I think people are right to be excited. I think people are right to compare the cost and the pricing of just hotel to hotel or park ticket to park ticket. But I think some people don't give Disney enough credit because it's old hat, it's their old neighborhood, it's their home park, whatever it might be. Like, well, you have Disney and Universal. You can't put Disney and Universal on the same level right now. Maybe you can get closer with Epic Universe once it opens and it's a smash hit. Looks like it will be.
I mean, obviously,
but like you can't compare value. That's what I'm saying, right?
But in some ways you can, because they're competing against each other and they have to draw people in. And
sure, but that's why Disney is the ultimate. Like they're the king of like theme parks, right?
Yeah.
So most people will say Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, Florida or Orlando, are not the best parks in the world. They have some great roller coasters and some good rides, but they're not the equivalent of the Magic Kingdom. They have the beauty and amazement of the Animal Kingdom, right? They have these rides and they're more like amusement parks versus theme parks, but they're still kind of a theme park. Well, they are a theme park.
They're a theme park, yeah. Just some sections are higher quality than other, for sure.
Well, you have to make that distinction though, right? And my point being is, and I'm pushing back a little bit on like the price comparison. It was like, you're still Universal's trying to catch up to the level of Disney in Orlando. They might have come close to catching up. We'll see in half a year. But my point being is, okay, well, their park ticket is this, and this hotel is much more expensive. Like, but who's earned the right, quote unquote, right to charge that amount? It's Disney, because even though I think all the costs are absolutely ridiculous, right? I'm not saying that they're good prices, but people pay them. So Disney has earned the right to charge that amount because of the experiences that they've sold for us all those years. Universal has not earned the right to have a $300 park ticket and an $800 a night hotel room.
Sure.
That's my point, right?
And I get that.
They might get there because Epic Universe is going to be absolutely phenomenal, right? Like we're expecting it to be fantastic.
Right.
It looks great so far. But they have not earned that right yet. That would be my
I get that. And maybe that's where coming in is that I've done Disney. It feels a little old hat. There's nothing new. And that's why I kept using the word excitement. Like it feels like there's excitement around Epic Universe and
heck yeah.
and everything like that. And there's not that. And maybe I want there to be that for Disney, but there isn't now. And then when you factor in like, okay, well, why would somebody who's gone multiple times recently pay so much more to do that when there's a brand new experience that has the potential to be as good? And I guess that's where it is.
I mean, no one will blame you, right?
Yeah.
Because, I want to talk about my trip report, right? My pre-trip report, and I'm not going to go over nuts, but I kind of want to go over what I've got, my strategy or lack of strategy, and some of these like feelings like I've had like in the last couple of weeks. It doesn't feel like I have a Disney trip coming up. Maybe it's just because it's adult only. My kids are not going bonkers, that type of thing. So with that, but like it's been normal. I'm like, I guess tomorrow or the next day I should start packing. Oh, I gotta get a couple. I mean, like it hasn't been like this thing on the horizon. It has been this thing on the horizon. Don't get me wrong, but it hasn't been like the big giant bullseye.
And there's not the same level of planning, right? Because it's like you're not having your kids like, where do you want to eat? What do you want to do? And things like all that kind of prep stuff.
Yes. However, this whole trip has been is going to be a dry one for my next trip. So let me reset and start from the beginning here. So again, we're flying down Friday. We're coming back on the Tuesday following, and we've got 3 full days at the parks with hoppers. Give you an idea about park hours for this weekend. I'm only talking about Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Magic Kingdom's open to 9 to 10. And we get an extra hour of sleep on Sunday. I didn't realize that.
That's
right. Like daylight savings. Epcot is 9 to 9 every day except for Sunday. It's open at 10 to 9. I don't know what that's about. Something must be going on. I thought it might be like some recording or something like that, which it might be the case, but nothing's been announced for it. And on Monday we got extra evening hours because we're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yeah. So that's 9 to 11 for me that day. Animal Kingdom is basically 8 to 7 every single day. We got 2 days worth of extended hours. Not that we would be there really after 2 o'clock anyway for most of the time. So that really doesn't change anything. And Hollywood Studios there at 9 to 9. Okay. So on Friday, these are just plans that we have scheduled, right? This is things that we're definitely doing. These are the anchors of our day. We're landing around 9:45. We're going to Steakhouse 71 for lunch at 1:30. And we do the normal resort exploring. We never stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge. We're going to have some, maybe go to the lounges, sit around, do whatever, right? We're going to have a nice, relaxing afternoon. And then probably going to go to Sanaa, get some bread service, and bring it back to the room. Kind of like I'm thinking about that one trip where you had your friends come back to your room and you guys like split a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you can get Sanaa to go, and they pack it all up for you and stuff like that.
So I'm totally living in that world. That is a beautiful idea. I'm totally stealing it. Thank you very much. There's a couple things I've stolen from you in a couple of the different sections, but that's our first day, Saturday. And I'm going to talk about Lightning Multipass later as its own thing, but on Saturday, we've decided to do breakfast at Magic Kingdom. The last couple of weeks, we've been touting singing the praises of Friar Nooks and tater tots and stuff. So that we're going to go in there. We're going to do something for breakfast. My wife's not a meat eater, and they only sell like sausage, egg and cheese type things. We're going to do something. We're going to sit around Casey's, have the castle in the background, have a cup of coffee, and kind of just, hey, we're in Magic Kingdom. We're eating breakfast. This is great. And there's no kids screaming at us, right? We did this last time. It was a adult-only trip. We're going to do it again. And then we've got the dessert party later that day. Happily Ever After. It's the after party. So Happily Ever After starts at 8:30. You're supposed to check in up to an hour prior. And then throughout the day, we're going to do whatever, right? We don't know what we're doing. We're starting at Magic Kingdom. So I got Tiana multi-passes for Lightning Lanes for Tiana at 6:30. So if we get there around 7:30 to kind of check in for our dessert party, we have access to that right away, which I liked. We've got Pirates at 11 and Haunted Mansion at 9:50. Hopefully I can start just digging away if we're going to stay there. But again, the emphasis of this trip is not to do rides. We're not going to go bust our butts running around for attractions. So that's our Saturday. Do you have something to say?
Nope.
You're looking at me.
I was just kind of wondering.
You look at me. You always look at me. But like,
well, the one thing I find interesting is that you're starting at Magic Kingdom and ending at Magic Kingdom, and you have the hoppers and stuff like that. So I didn't know how you were planning on working that.
Yes, it's a very good question because that's a conversation I brought to my wife.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't care where we go. My wife doesn't care where we go. She's been infuriating for this whole trip planning process. Like, I thought we're just going to do whatever. I'm like, we can't just do whatever. We need to have options. I think we talked about the silly idea I had about blocks, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of interchange. So one of the questions I asked is, so we're going to start the day at Magic Kingdom, and then we're going to finish the day at Magic Kingdom. And we're probably going to go swimming or go back to the resort and do something fun, have some lunch somewhere, do something, and then we're going to go back. Do we want to just like cram ourselves all into a Magic Kingdom day? And I hate the idea of just not doing any other parks and then like, why did I buy hoppers? And I start feeling guilty, right? I promise not to feel guilty because the money's already spent and I don't care about that anymore. Anyway, but the other idea is we can't do it Monday. We have 3 park days, right? So I'm trying to plan enough interesting things to do in 3 days. So we got Caring for Giants at 10 a.m. at Animal Kingdom on Monday. So we have to rope drop Animal Kingdom on Monday, right? So the question was, do we want to do it Saturday or Sunday? Now, Sunday would be a good idea because Epcot opens later. So Epcot kind of takes away the rope drop type of thing. However, one of the days we also want to wake up late, go to whatever park later, and like kind of eat breakfast, sit on the balcony, and kind of do that whole thing, kind of relax. And when you kind of tie all those together, I'm going to be like ready to go to a park, our first park day, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I could take it slow. So if Monday's taken out, do I want to like go slow on the first day that I'm there and then rope drop Magic Kingdom the next? So that's basically where we're at. No wrong answers. But again, on Sunday, so because Epcot's, we've been to Magic Kingdom already. We're going to Animal Kingdom on Monday. Sunday, we're doing Hollywood Studios. We're opening. We're going to do a slow roll to the whole day, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The Lightning Lanes are Slinky Dog Dash at 1:20, Tower of Terror at 10:45, and Toy Story Mania at 9:45. I'll talk about the Lightning Lane process another time. That being said, we're going to get there a little bit late. We could tap into Toy Story Mania and start kind of doing a bunch of stuff. We changed Oga's from like 4 o'clock to somewhere around lunchtime, so we can kind of all sandwich everything in the morning. That's what we're going to do. And Mondays, starting at Animal Kingdom. So I've got Safari 8:10, Navi at 8:55, Everest at 11, and Caring for Giants at 10, which is an hour-long thing. So we'd be able to go Caring for Giants right over to Everest and kind of say goodbye for the day. And then later that day, we have Storybook Dining at 6:50. So I think, hopefully, I've not bored you with the outline of what we're kind of doing. At this point, Phil, I'm already like, we've planned way too much, right? This is supposed to be like a free form type of vacation where you're not like stuck to a thing, but we've already started creating anchors for ourselves, which is, I guess, is like,
Yeah, I mean, you have to have
vacation,
some
right?
sort of plans. I mean, especially if you're going to get the Lightning Lane multipass, but you're still going to want to plan a few things out. And like you said, have anchor points and stuff like that to give the general framework for you. You're not. I get that it's like a low key vacation and not trying to maximize it, but you're still spending a decent amount of money. You want to get something out of it, and you want to have. You don't want to be sitting. You want to wake up and be like, "What do you want to do?" I don't know. What do you want to do?
I mean, that's what my wife will literally do with both of us, and I don't want that. So I think if I can get the momentum started with the parks in the morning, we can kind of just roll up from there.
Yeah.
So I want to go over my Lightning Lane multipass booking experience. Now, this is my first time doing it. I also realize you've probably watched 4 months of this is how you do Lightning Lane multipass. This is old hat, right? Like this has been discussed and torn apart already, Phil. So I think I'm going to try to just kind of give you some top level stuff. So 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 days out. Now, granted, my first park day is a Saturday, right? So this is a vastly different experience from our friend Matt from Diz Happenings that absolutely hates this new system. I think there's something that's going there. So because my first day was Saturday, I didn't have plenty of people that had additional time to book on Saturday, right? It's still probably 7 more days worth of people, but most people aren't booking a 2-week trip anyway. So it's not like a heavy population of people. So I was able to get, I booked Magic Kingdom first. I booked it. I picked a bunch of stuff. Then I booked Hollywood Studios, picked a bunch of stuff, booked Animal Kingdom, a bunch of stuff. I did not pay attention to times and dates and whatever. I booked my attractions and I was done, right?
Yep.
I knew that I wanted to get Tiana's because I definitely want to go on Tiana's now that we're there at some point because I don't trust the Lightning, the virtual queue process.
Queue, yeah.
Because that stuff's going in like 1.5 seconds and probably not going to make it. So I got that. I got some Haunted Mansion Pirates, my 2 favorite attractions. Again, I'm not trying to get the most out of this system, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Again, so then what happens? I had all 3 parks, and I'm like, okay, Magic Kingdom is going to be the most important one because it's like there's so many different options. I want to squish it, get some stuff done quickly in the morning, and then kind of bounce out of the park by like 11 or 12. That's what we're kind of guessing, right? We don't want to spend all day in the park. So the most we can maximize at that park, the first part of the morning, the better.
Yep.
Assuming that's what we want to do. I think I originally had booked like Pirates and Haunted Mansion for the afternoon, right? So after I went through the purchasing process for 3 days, went back and starting like Molly on Mammoth Club likes to do, fiddle faddling. That's now stuck in my head as that. You're sliding down, you're refreshing. Yep. And I was able to inch back Pirates back to the time, I think it was like 11. And Haunted Mansion, I was able to kind of push back until 9:50.
Yep.
And it seemed that there was a lot of movement within the first 15 to 20 minutes of that 7 a.m. period on that Saturday where I was able to do it. Refresh, change, boom, 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 back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, haha, maybe there's something, a strategy here that at 7 a.m. every day leading up to the thing, they're dropping new new slots. There's a lot of changing going on. And then I checked for the next 3 days at 7 a.m. and there was nothing. It was, I usually expected times just inch a little bit closer up. And I wasn't able to change anything within like 4 or 5 days afterwards. Like the times didn't get better, right? They weren't dropping anything. So my first guess of that they're continuously dropping things in is different. I didn't check today, but I should have checked today if it's wait. There's no 3 day. Is there a 3 day mark for?
Yeah, that's for
off-site
guests that have the dated tickets, so they can 3 days before their first park day.
3 days. So today was 3 days. Maybe they added some today, and I forgot to check. I suspect they might add some the day of and throughout the day. We know that there's different drops. So depending on your day, so when my big, I guess, piece of advice this late into the game for this thing is If you're booking closer to some of those low travel days, like most people arrive at Disney World on a Friday, Friday or Saturday, a Thursday, maybe mostly Friday and Saturday for like the weekend and start their vacation. You're going to get the most availability on Fridays and Saturdays if that is your 7-day mark and pushing outwards. Our good friend Matt, his first day is Sunday. So I suspect that by your 7 day is on Sunday, the people that are checking in on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are already booking all those days, or already had booked those days for their week-long vacation or whatever it might be. So if you're booking in on a Sunday, that might be a detriment to the lightning thing, because if you drew a graph of like, the date in the y-axis and the amount of people checking in per day on the X, it might be like a giant hump as you get like to the weekend, right? Type of thing. So you got much more money, more people kind of pushing you into that. So maybe that's something to think about. Otherwise, it went smooth. I kind of happy with what it went. Now the one thing that I'm worried about is your reference to spreading out wait times, Phil, because you noticed that like things were longer wait times than the previous time. Do you recall that?
So that was for, the stuff that I don't have a lightning lane for. I found that the standby times for the second tier attractions was a lot longer. That I guess because of the tiering with this, it's pushing more people to, nobody bothered to get a Genie Plus for Living with the Land or Under the Seas with Nemo. But now that you have to pre-book 3 things and there's tier 2 and stuff like that, people are actually getting, lightning lanes for those. So it seemed the major rides were about the same or maybe even a little lower for the standby waits, but the secondary stuff seemed to be quite a bit longer.
Yeah. So I'm kind of worried about that. But again, our nature for a trip, and I echo my wife, is we're just going to take it. Maybe we go on 2 rides, maybe we go on 10, and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about you, but it's probably a little easier waiting in line with just your wife, where you can kind of chat and do things, and you're not worried about wrangling kids. And
my kids are actually pretty good when they're at Disney World. They're not good anywhere else, but in lines, they're all kind of like right there, right? They're not wandering around. The other thing was like the price, right? Like our whole weekend was basically $30 a day per person.
Okay.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm buying this for my wife and I, because I want the best vacation with my wife. Like not that I'm on Premier Pass level at all spending the money, but like the amount of time I could save, like walking with my wife throughout the park, waiting online, is worth the money to buy for 2 people, right? Yeah. $60 a day is not too bad. But I'm thinking about my vacation next year, and I could see myself buying this for 1 Magic Kingdom day potentially, but I'm not buying this for a party of 5. Like I'm not spending another $150, $180 on this with tax. It's just way too much money. So maybe that makes it better for people that do want to spend the money. People like me, because there's plenty of people like me going down, no kids, their friends, or just whatever, friends or spouses or solo or whatever it might be, non-kids. Yeah. So to me, this is a far cry from a couple years ago when I bought it for $15 a day per person for my whole vacation. Right. We were able to do that in this first iteration.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair point. And it's, hopefully this will show you which parks maybe it's worth it at, which ones it isn't, and that sort of thing. But yeah,
it really, I think I get that.
Yeah, it really adds up. But you just have to decide what's worth it for you. And if you get it there, maybe cut something else. But especially when you buy them ahead of time now, it's not like, okay, $150 for that day. It's, you're doing it for your whole stay, and I just dropped $900 or whatever.
Well, I mean, you're dropping that much money, but you already paid for your vacation. You booked that month, 6 months ago, whatever it might be, right? Now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I gotta spend more money. Disney did a good job. You can't buy all the stuff all at once, and have one like total. Like, you have to buy. It's like $60, $30, $10, $30, $60, because you're buying your single passes and your multi passes. We're not doing single passes. And Disney was smart. Like, I just spent $60. I just spent $50. I just spent $40. It's much better than you just spent $300. You just spent $500. You spent an extra $1,000. So maybe that has to do with it.
Maybe.
So this again, I mentioned at the top that this is going to be a dry run for our family trip next year. If you recall, our family trip next year is going to be more bingo style. It's no spreadsheets. This is what we're doing. We're going to have a list of things that we're going to accomplish. We all have hopper passes for the first time as a family. and we're like, what do we want to accomplish today? We're going to select some things from the list, and we're going to go do that, whether that's at just one park or at 4. We're going to go do a whole bunch of stuff. And this time, we have a bunch of new stuff and a bunch of goodbye stuff. We've talked about it plenty of times on this, but I've got my list. And I think I know there's probably 1 or 2 things I'm missing here. But I'm going to read this down real quick. This is a checklist of things I want to accomplish on our vacation outside of places we want to eat and experiences we've already paid for. This is what I want to do in the park, and it's very Magic Kingdom heavy, and I'm worried that I'm not in Magic Kingdom enough for this. But that being said, here we go. We want to do Tron. My wife has never done Tron. Last time we were there, my wife didn't go on because she had a back issue, and she didn't like the way it kind of you sat on it. She was uncomfortable. So we're not doing it. We want to get on there. We want to see the new Country Bears Jamboree because that's actually new. People forgot about that after like the first week it reopened. Yeah. Everybody kind of forgot. There's not many other memes or T-shirts going around for like Country Bear, like Save Country Bear and all the anger. Like you think if they were really replacing a cultural icon, there'd be some still anger out there after like just 3 months. But everybody seems to be happy with what they put in there. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to say my goodbyes to Dinoland, go around, take some pictures, kind of maybe win some vintage prizes there for cat. I don't know how we pay for them. Is it cash or credit? I don't know. Joe Rohde had a really interesting Instagram post where some of the large paintings that are in that restaurant in
Restaurantosaurus.
Thank you. And he was like, I'm going to take pictures of these. This is my last time I might see them. Like, so it'd be cool to take some pictures of them, or at least I was in there. I never realized he painted. It was like a 6 foot by 4 foot like picture. It was like crazy big, right, Phil? I mean, it was big.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So get some pictures of that, and then of course Tom Sawyer Island, the riverboat. We're gonna go on Tiana's. I want to see Communicore Hall and how terrible and bland it is. Like you said, I want to go to the airport terminal and be like, "Yep, it's bad," and then move on. I want to go on the Jungle Cruise, but not because it's the Jingle Cruise, because they painted some rocks, Phil. I think that's exciting. You know, I like my cement and paint colors, right? So we go check that out. Which leads me to I really want to take pictures of the Adventureland cement in like total irony. I just want to be able to put pictures of like in my photo album. So like in 8 years, Google's going to remind me what I did 8 years ago today. I'm like, why am I taking pictures of cement? It's going to remind me of this time in Making Five. So that's
tell your grandkids.
Yes,
back in my day, I took photos of cement. Okay, Grandpa, let's get you off to bed.
Okay, yes, let's bring you back to the Magic Kingdom right through this door. I've never done the whole thing of One Man's Dream in Hollywood Studios, so I want to do that. I want to walk through the Boneyard. It's been hinted at by Len Testafil that there's going to be a play area in Tropical Americas. We saw some permits being released that had some really cool overlays, so go check them out. WDW Magic has a really good post about that. And there's a spot that looks like it might be for a play area in there, so the Boneyard's going to be moving. But I want to go check out the Boneyard. I always thought it was like rather small, or not like just contained in one area. And then I just recently saw a video like you can go back and then back. And there's more and there's more.
Yeah, there's like a bridge that goes over the road, and
I never knew that. So I'm gonna go check those out, walk around, and hopefully not feel too awkward being the 2 adults walking around with no kids in the kids playground. So we'll see. I haven't seen the PhilharMagic with the Coco edition yet, so we want to put that on our list. The Encanto show. Is the Encanto show still playing at
It
Epcot?
is. Yeah, they extended it into 2025. I forget exactly how long, but they extended it.
Because I could have sworn I saw something the other day about some new band that might be playing there for Food and Wine or the holidays or something.
Well, they do. They have a
Christmas
band
thing?
like the Encanto shows during the day, and then in the
right.
evening they have like a band playing, and it's been like kind of Latin music. I don't know if they're maybe switching up that band.
So I want to check out the Encanto show at least for 5 minutes, maybe. We'll see. I want to see the new Peter Pan scene because the Native American scene was kind of is it like her wind dancer cape? Or,
Yeah.
Did I get that right? I think wind dancer. I don't know what it is. It's wind something, and it's supposed to be really cool. We saw pictures of it. It's not a big deal, but I am now keeping track of little tiny things I haven't seen yet. I almost put in. We're gonna go sit to the show anyway. But the Carousel Progress new seats, I want to check those out and get a nice comfy seat on them.
I don't know. Have they finished all the theaters? Because when we went, the theater we got, it wasn't updated yet. So I don't know if they've done all the theaters yet.
So I have to look in and then wait for like the next.
I don't go in and be like, I'll wait for the next one.
Good. Do you think here's a question for you, Phil. Do you think if I walked up to the cast member and said, I need to get on the new seats or my vacation is ruined, will they look at me strange?
Yeah. Well, it depends on the cast member.
That's what I'm saying. I want to find the cast members like, I totally get your vibe.
Yeah.
Let me help you out, right? Or is it going to be like the kids like, you're crazy. What's going on at Disney? Like this first day cast member type of thing. So I also have a worry that I'm getting with the multi-pass, right? It's my old project manager level type stuff. So I'm like, I'm worried about using them too much. Is like killing the vibe of the vacation, which is like this is literally the vacation type of thing. But like not using them enough. Also, like, okay, I'm gonna get my 3. Am I gonna panic about like trying to book? When are we getting to Epcot, babe? Like, we're at lunch. Do you think we get over there in an hour or 2 hours? When do I like that level of play on those? Like, is kind of freaking me out a little bit. Only because if this was me and my kids, and this is back in the day, like there's no question I could just run it that day and get it done. Now it's just like, all right, maybe we just got these 3. We don't use it for the rest of the day, but what did I pay for? Like, I got to get out of that mentality. It's already attacking me, and I'm not.
Hopefully, you get into a groove of kind of like, okay, well, we can book something else. Is there something else you want to do? Okay, we'll book that. But like, kind of, so you're using it, but you're not going crazy. But at least you're feeling like you're getting some use out of it. Hopefully
I mean, like I think I'd be happy not but to I guess judge it on the amounts used, but more like, can I use this tool when I want to get into an experience I somewhat want, right? Like, oh, we want to go on another ride now and there's something available, I can use it, and we skip the line, but then we kind of meander around and not really like do power touring of the park, right? I kind of want it there with me. So the other things we talked about anchors before. There's some things that I want to do, but you don't need reservations for them or anything else like that. So I'm going to name off a couple of these things. Phil, tell me if you want to add to them or I should leave any of these off. I want to do Nomad's Lounge, obviously pool time. My wife wants to just like chill, read a book, that type of thing. Magic Kingdom breakfast, which we already talked about the whole debate of the whole thing. That's why this was an anchor point on there. We want to do the Food and Wine Festival. I mean, that's kind of obvious at Epcot, but it's kind of like everybody forgot that the Food and Wine Festival is still going on with the festival holidays upcoming. And all the bloggers have already done this like 10 months ago in the month of August when everybody's sweating and whatever.
I saw something pop up in my YouTube feed. It was like food and wine taste. I'm like, wait, did that that didn't just start, right? Or what? And then it's like 2 months ago. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like Food and Wine used to be like a fall kind of like thing that you would do.
Yeah.
But now it's pushed back so much, and all the vloggers hit it the first day. It practically shouldn't even exist by September at this point, right? Which is kind of strange. So out of those things, are there things I should add to that? For example, like Nomad's Lodge, I want to go there. I don't know when I will go there.
Right.
Maybe it'd be on Monday after we're done with all of our stuff, hit Nomad's Lodge before we go somewhere. Or do we maybe do it like the first day we go to Magic Kingdom? Maybe we leave by 11 or 12 and then we go back to the resort. Do we, instead of going to the pool right away, we go hop into Animal Kingdom because we have an excuse to use the hoppers to go there, grab a bite to eat.
No, I like that idea.
Resort, right?
Yeah.
I like that too, but my wife might like, why don't we just go to the pool and grab something to eat there? I'm like, okay, fine. Okay. So, I mean, that's why that's an anchor point. Is there anything on here? The other one is Animal Kingdom lounges because we're staying there. Is there anything here that you would add, like these little tiny things that you can kind of hop in and out? Maybe not so much attractions, but it's going to relate to our DVC question about experiences that you haven't done at the parks, but these are experiences that maybe you want to do at the parks.
Nothing's really jumping out to me. I mean, yeah, like you had on for opening day, just exploring the resort and stuff like that, because there is a lot to see at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yeah, nothing else is really jumping out at me. I don't know if you want to spend a little time since you're just the two of you. I forget if your wife's into it or not, but like just exploring Galaxy's Edge and kind of taking in that vibe a little bit more.
I mean, there's nothing in the parks like just normal touring that we specifically need to do other than the Magic Kingdom breakfast. Like early in the morning, it's still not, it's actually not going to be terribly hot, but like you could just kind of relax as everybody's like, we could watch all the, you're rushing. We're going to sip our coffee type of thing. I kind of like that idea. The other thing is we bought hoppers, and the question is, as I'm like, I'm going through all these scenarios. If we leave here at this time, we can do this, 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 and this before we have to go back to this, because we have like things scheduled in the morning and night. We got to fit in things to do during the day type of thing. My question feels like, am I using the hoppers the right way? Is there a right way to use the hoppers?
Yeah, I don't know if there
Is
is
there
a
enough
right way.
time to use them? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You only have 3 days, and you do have the things you want to get in and stuff. But I think using them, when after or before your resort break for the day makes sense. On that first day when you're in Magic Kingdom, you could always just take the monorail down to Epcot and do that for a bit, or on your Hollywood Studios day, Skyliner over, things like that. So I think you can just kind of fit in where you're like, hey, let's go do something. But kind of figuring it around like normal, like when you were thinking of leaving the park anyway,
Yeah.
like kind of fit in another park hop.
Well, here's my issue. Like you brought it up. You go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, the first day, and I said like I got to use my hopper for something, and Animal Kingdom is right there, right? So, is that useless traveling just to use the hopper? Or is that they're all legitimate, but like, is that a good use of time versus relaxing at the hotel type of thing? You've got like most days when you're with hoppers with like your family, I expect it's like 2 parks, right? You do one park in the morning and one park in the afternoon, right? There's very little time in between to do that unless you're really like chugging along type of thing. So I have to adjust my brain. Like if we only go to 2 parks, like Hollywood Studios and Epcot, like that's fine. Like you're not doing anything wrong. The other thing that's really like, as we get closer to this, like I feel completely unmoored from this whole Disney World trip experience, right? Normally I'm like, here is our schedule. I have a timesheet. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going to be. And it's not like over the years, it's not like this ride, this ride, this ride, this thing, down to the hour. It's like for the first half of the day, we're going to be the Magic Kingdom. Then we're going to go swim at the pool. And then we're going to go back to the Magic Kingdom. And that is going to be our day. And this is the things that we're going to try to accomplish. But like each segment of that spreadsheet has a color associated with the park, and we're ready to go. But because we don't know where we're going, we don't know what we're doing, and that's the way we're doing it on purpose. Like I'm going in, like I'm like my preparations are like, I guess I have to remember to bring my charger, and that's the only thing I'm worried about at this point. Like I don't have the normal like last minute finagling and fixing things. Like, have you experienced that before?
To some extent. I mean, we definitely had it like with the down and back with my son, was like because we didn't need to pack a ton of things. But outside of that, we always have to get ready the Disney bags and for travel, and making sure we're getting waters and things like that. So there's always things going on, and getting the
that's
magic
normal
bands.
travel stuff though, right?
Yeah.
Like it just feels like I should be doing more. We should have been like I mentioned on Discord, like our family's weekly schedule because of sports and activities all the kids do is like today was Tuesday. We're actually able to have family dinner. I was able to actually cook something nice. We sat down, we had a great meal, and like then if this was a week that we weren't going away, the next 6 nights are just like get home at 8, get home at 8:30. We're doing a bunch of like there's no time. So like there's no time to like sit down and talk about a trip because we're constantly exhausted. So it's like we don't talk about Disney at all. We're like Bruno. You don't talk about Bruno all the way. Like, oh, we're flying out tomorrow morning. Do we pack everything? And it's also Halloween, and it's like all this other stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling now. It just doesn't feel like I'll be at Disney World in like 3 days. Like I don't have that normal level of excitement, but I do because I think about it constantly, thinking about it every night. But like, I don't know. There used to be, and maybe it's just because again, it's not the kids. There used to be like this build up, this excitement. Like I guess we're not watching random blogs with like the kids and watching Resort TV 1 and all this other stuff. Can try to get excited. We're just living our lives because they're so crazy that we don't have time to get excited and everything else. So we're gonna do a trip report when I get back. It's not gonna be a very long one. It's gonna be brief because it's gonna be more like how much did we achieve the vacation. Again, this is gonna be a dry run of our family vacation next year, where we're all hoppers. We have lists of things that we want to accomplish and that sort of thing. So we'll see how it goes. Again, a reminder of our social media accounts: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and the YouTube channel, all at the DVC Pod. We welcome and appreciate all our new listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for engaging with us and giving your hour or so of time. It's going to be or so tonight, I believe. We always go long. We try to make it shorter, but we always go long. All right, so Phil, what is our DBC engagement for this week?
Yeah, so this one we took the idea that Mom of Six from our Discord server had, which was basically building off what we had last week, which was, the things that you want to do that you've never done. This was, well, what are things that don't exist in the parks, whether it's an attraction, a hotel, or an experience like a tour or something like that, that you haven't gotten to experience that doesn't sort of exist. And what would they be? And the example they gave was that she'd like to be in the parks after they close and kind of get to watch like what happens after all the guests are actually gone and stuff like that, which obviously you can't do unless you're a cast member or something like that. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to do the community stuff first or ours first?
Ooh, let's do the community because they've been much more imaginative than me. I had to use some of their things for inspiration when I was typing it out.
So Lumpy said an actual quick service restaurant on Crescent Lake. So I guess we're not counting the cake bake shop there.
You get a slice of cake quick, but I don't know if the economic value is there.
Yeah, I don't know if that really works. And basically saying that the quick service restaurants, that the values and moderates are generally much better than what they have at the deluxe resort. So I think a general feeling about having better quick service in some of the resort areas. Vike Queen said, not very creative, but one that doesn't exist is a Star Wars character meal.
Oh, this is such a good one.
Bring on Darth Vader and all those sorts of things. She'd also like to see a Tangled ride. I know we've talked about that, doing a river ride in the Germany pavilion that's Tangled themes. She says it's a great movie and deserves a ride. And then said that she's seen things that they have in the Disney parks outside of the United States where they have different experiences in the castles. For example, in Paris, you can go like kind of under the ground and they have a giant animatronic dragon and stuff like that. Even in Disneyland in California, there is the walk through Sleeping Beauty attraction and stuff like that. So just basically said, I wish there was something in Orlando that wasn't just the restaurant.
That makes sense because Tokyo has some cool stuff and cool experiences there. I want to apologize to Vike Queen because I think I put an S in the middle of her name at the top of the show. I was saying Vikes Queen because I was thinking about the Minnesota Vikings and everybody calls them the Vikes. That's my fault. No, she has a great idea. I think the most interesting one out of like everybody. So I'll give her credit again. This is not me messing with her.
It is her personal podcast.
Yes, this is her personal podcast. Absolutely. Is the Star Wars character meal? How have we not had this yet? Like this is like crazy. Like how have we not had a Marvel character meal? Because I don't know about you, Phil. I think you could probably get away with Marvel characters, the ones that are banned from Florida at a hotel because it's not at a theme park.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying those are good ideas, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have, I don't know if it was the Star Wars stuff got kind of pushed behind the whole Star Cruiser thing. And they do have the Marvel restaurants on the cruise line. So maybe they're trying to limit it to that. But yeah, other people will get to it too. But other people had ideas for more variety, I guess, with character meals. It seems like there's a lot of, the Fab Five or princesses. There's not a lot of other types of character meals, really.
I'm with you. Who else had some interest?
Yeah, so T.L. Madden said, I could name so many. So they wanted a continuation of the Skyliner, things like that. But he said he wants a Marvel land. He wants them to figure out the rights and they can do that so they could have like a true Marvel land, perhaps in Hollywood Studios.
I don't think this ever gets purchased. I think there would be a trade at some point where Disney not only hands over the theme park rights to this IP, but actually gives an IP to NBC Comcast.
Yeah, it'll probably have to be something like
you
that.
now own The Simpsons or something. We want these rights back. It'll have to be some crazy, maybe not. It's not that, but like I think it'd have to be a trade like that to get like giving Disney the ability to make like a Marvel land.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He said he wants anything in the Stitch building.
Yes, well,
and his idea was to make a fairy tale hall, but for more kind of sci-fi characters.
Let's not set precedents for that.
And then he said he does want to see a resort on the Epcot monorail line. It seems like they keep adding things like in the new Reflections area or something like that, but not actually on the monorail. I know it's kind of come up before. It's more like probably at the entrance to Epcot, but it would basically be by where that monorail station is. Yep.
I want to ask you a question, Phil.
Yeah.
Should you go to an AMC theater to watch Moana 2 just so you can get the nacho boat?
Isn't it Regal?
I thought it was AMC. It doesn't matter. Some movie theater to get the nacho boat for Moana.
I am tempted.
I like popcorn buckets are fun, but I've never been like.
Yeah,
if
my
I- if
wife
I-
liked the wave popcorn bucket. She thought that one was nice, but I was like, ooh, nacho boat.
Yes, but I'm like saying like I would buy all sorts of popcorn buckets like if they were in front of me and I could buy them, but I wasn't going to a specific theater to go see the movie to get the popcorn bucket. The Moana 2 thing, I might go out of my way to buy that thing. I don't know why we're advertising this.
I don't know where this
or
came
AMC
up, but,
popcorn,
okay.
but like I know I looked at your popcorn buckets behind
Oh,
you
okay.
in your backdrop, and I'm like, oh, Moana 2 popcorn bucket. It's the only one that I felt like I need that specifically. Okay, so what is next? Mama 6 was next.
Yeah, Mama 6 has some more. One, it says there should be a themed playground in each park. We talked a little bit about that for Animal Kingdom. Wants a nighttime show at Animal Kingdom.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, Skyliner expansion to Animal Kingdom and the other area resorts, so basically another Skyliner line, and wants to see an Inside Out attraction.
No, I'm with Inside Out. I think it's just they will bring an experience, but I think they were truly caught off guard how well Inside Out 2 did on that level. We already had a nighttime show at Animal Kingdom, so that would break the rule of being able to play again.
I guess it could be a different show, but still.
No, it can't. No, nighttime show is just returning of a show. It's not a new experience, right? We've already had that. So what's next?
Then also wanted something similar to Volcano Bay's Tapu Tapu bands for the Disney water parks. Wants to see longer evening hours at Animal Kingdom. Wants Express Pass. That's more like Universal, although I guess we have that with Premier Pass.
Only thing that Animal Kingdom has to do at night is just keep the bars open. They can close all the attractions or whatever. I would go like chill.
Well, that was one of my favorite things when it was open late. I mean, I enjoyed the Rivers of Light and stuff like that, but they used to have, live music going, and then all the bars were open. It was just a really cool vibe walking around. It was similar to the World Showcase vibe, but obviously, different theming and stuff like that, but it was like that.
Imagine being able to go to the Animal Kingdom, and I'm making the Tommy Cutlass Italian side over here. Imagine if you could go to Animal Kingdom at like 8:30 at night and go sit at that like outdoor bar in Africa, like the outside bar area, and just like the entertainers are behind you, they're playing, and it's like Safari's closed, all the attractions are closed, but it's just bars and restaurants that are open.
Yeah.
Like I would pay extra. I would pay for a ticket to go in there, but you can only go in after 6 o'clock for whatever amount of money. If I can just chill there into the evening, I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. Like I said, I don't know if enough people would do it, but to make it worthwhile, but I think
because the one thing that irritates me is I wasn't able to start booking the tours at the 60-day mark or whatever it was. I really want I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Taste of the Savannah or something. Where
Savor the Savannah.
Savor the Savannah. Thank you. Yes, and you end up having like a wine tasting pairing with some appetizers and stuff like that in the Savannah. It's really cool. From the videos I've seen, I want more experiences like that. Okay, who's next? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going all over the place.
Really.
I apologize. Yeah.
Herdomaniac is throwing IP caution to the wind, but wants to see Wakanda characters and influences injected into Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Sure.
Wants a Lord of the Rings land. I mean, I think that would be interesting. I just don't know. That would be another one. I don't know. Disney doesn't seem to want to acquire other IP like they did with Pandora.
You never know. Like, I mean, it's always this is a definite long shot, but like you could see like a new CEO coming in and, all right, Iger was amazingly successful, ran the boat. We're buying Pixar and Marvel and all this other stuff back in the day. New CEO buying Lord of the Rings land and changing some of the expansion ideas, and all of a sudden opening a Lord of the Rings land to counteract Epic Universe because that's what they think is the best thing to do for the parks.
Maybe. And the last one was the Chronicles of Narnia experience or something like that at Hollywood Studios.
Who owns the rights to that?
I have no idea because
is Narnia
Disney
Lionsgate or something?
Because they did a movie that I thought was under Disney, because they used to have that experience at Hollywood Studios where you could see they had something there where you could see like the costumes and things like that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But Narnia, I'm like, look, I'm a big Narnia fan. That'd be awesome. Like anything that's like new and interesting, like I'm here for. I like these ideas. These are good ones.
And then last was Brett 3 Days said a Skyliner to Disney Springs and Animal Kingdom, and then an interesting idea of a drink package that works like on a cruise where you could just pay one price and drink as much as you want around the parks. I don't know if that would fly.
Oh, look. If you're listening, I'm making a weird face right now, but I'm all for this. But I'm like, I don't ever see Disney ever do. Like, I think they're like, we're okay with people getting too much to drink at World Showcase. We don't need to promote.
Yeah, one thing I thought of, like, because I actually thought about it, I was like, could they even do that? I know they do that like wine tasting thing in like it's like France, Italy, and Germany or something like that, where you go and you get a taste at each one. But maybe expand that where, you know how they have like the kids cut things where you go around the different countries, have like a passport or something like that for adults, and you go around and get a drink in each of the countries, like almost like, I guess, monetize the drinking around the world a little bit. But
I don't think Disney needs the PR. Like, we have a dining plan, but we also have a drinking plan.
Yeah.
And, I think, no, I just don't think
I don't think it's going to happen.
Too much liability.
Yeah.
All right, we've got our own. Like, look, you did such a good job. Like, you don't normally do this, but like, if you were to look at the show notes and Phil's items, he has 3 of them. They're like bolded. The first part is bolded, right? Like, here's the title of my idea, and then there's a paragraph unbolded of the description. It looks very nice, and our show notes are never very nice looking. It's just like jotting down of ideas and stuff like that. So I felt compelled to put mine in bolded. So, Phil, since you've done such a wonderful job formatting and putting on the information for your picks, why don't you go first?
Sure. So the ideas I had was I would like to see a transportation tour. So we're talking about different tours that they have at the parks. I know they have one that's about the steam trains, where you get to ride the steam trains and you get to kind of see the building where they work on them, but you don't actually get to go in them. I want to see like a full blown, because I love like how many different forms of transportation there are, and Walt was big into that. Like, yeah, so 100%. Let me see where you work on the train stations. Let me see where you work on the monorails. Let me see where you are dispatching all the buses around. Take a boat ride and have them explain the engineering of the water bridge and stuff like that.
Let me ask you a question. So these are all great ideas. I want this. I pay money to go do this. If it was just like, you go around and you get to ride all the vehicles of transportation. Maybe a guide sit with you and throw out like factoids at you or whatever, and then something to eat or whatever it might be. Would that be enough, or do you need to like go see the behind the scenes of like where they do the maintenance, where they do the storage, how they do like the technical things, like the ops, like the down and dirty ops stuff? Does that have to be part of this tour to make this interesting?
I mean, my idea is definitely that. Like, if I had my wish, that's what I would want. I mean, I think something that's, the lighter version you said would be fun too, but my idea is definitely more at getting into the ops of things.
No, I love how things are made. That's my job, right? Like, I get to see behind the scenes of a lot of stuff. So I'm down for that. I'm just wondering, like, would it be worthwhile if Disney said there's a $40 tour and you just ride on the normal stuff and the guy gets to talk to you about it, whatever. I don't know if that's as interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's.
What's next?
Second idea is doing retro after hours events at the parks.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
This is not a new idea. You've been building this in your mind for a while. When you talked about this on the show before? We had a similar type of topic. How long ago was that? Do you remember?
Probably a couple of years ago at this point, because it comes up. I think
easily years.
Yeah. Because it comes up because they do these at Disneyland, but they don't really do them at Walt Disney World. And I know it probably also came up when they announced they were doing the extra fireworks for the after hours at Magic Kingdom. And I was like, well, why are they doing that? Well, why don't they go back and do like wishes and stuff like that? People would pay big money for that. So my idea is like really expanding on all those things, like really tap into nostalgia. At Magic Kingdom, you could have ride photo ops with the different old ride vehicles. You could have food from places that don't exist anymore. You could do the welcome show they used to do at the train station.
True.
And then you could, and have the fireworks show be wishes and stuff like that. At Epcot, you could have Mickey and friends come out in the old retro rainbow space outfits. You could maybe have some awesome. Of the puppets from the Tapestry of Nations. You could do like Living with the Land, but go back to Listen to the Land and have the cast members riding and doing the narration and things like that. And then obviously you could perform illuminations and things like that. So I think.
So do you think you need to have individual parties, or like you buy a ticket to this and you can go to all 4 parks to do it?
I was thinking it would be an individual thing, but that would be cool if you could do like, we're doing them at all 4 parks. You could buy them individually or buy the booklet that gets you into all of them.
I'm just saying, like, is there enough to do at each park to justify a single ticket for it? I mean, yes, you can, but for like bang for like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's enough for a
value.
retro thing at Animal Kingdom at this point. There's not that much retro there unless you do
Retro
like
over
Camp,
the last 25 years.
like Camp Mickey and Minnie, or like, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's obviously been a lot of different shows and stuff at Hollywood Studios, and you could do like the Star Wars fireworks show and stuff like that. Like, there's been different things, but probably be most effective at Magic Kingdom and Epcot, I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
And then my last idea is, I guess, building off of what Brett said about drinking in Epcot, but a craft beer bar in Epcot. I would thinking at the American Pavilion, or perhaps they could use the Festival Center. That really taps into like the craft beer community in the United States, and have like tap takeovers where a brewery can come in and part of the, take over 5 or 6 of the taps, and maybe do like host beer pairing dinners and things like that. Like, it feels like something that's big around the country. And they get, obviously they have beer and stuff at the festivals, but I think they could take it to that next level and really have kind of elevate it a little bit more.
I mean, I'm surprised they don't do this for like an Oktoberfest or something.
Yeah.
Like, Food and Wine is going on long enough at this point because you've pushed it back so far earlier in the year, that you could do like an October, like you end Food and Wine end of September. So it runs July, August, September, or whatever. When is it? Is it still? It starts in July, end of July.
No. This year it only started in September, the very end of August.
Did it
they pushed
start
it
in
back.
July a year
It
or two
used
ago?
to, yeah. Just this year it was pushed back a lot.
So why not do an Oktoberfest and just have craft beers?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's a good idea. It's like I'm making Disney money tonight. Lumpy had some stuff. What did Lumpy say?
No, we went through all of them.
Oh, we did. Oh,
now
sorry.
it's just we're just you.
I'm
Save
scrolling
the
down.
prettiest for last.
Oh my goodness, that's what happens when my monitor gets scrolled down. Too bad. Okay, so yes, prettiest for last. I caught that. You have to be on Discord to get that joke. Yes, very good, very good. All right, so I didn't know what to think, right? Because a lot of people will pick like experiences, like a Marvel Land or something like that. I think with like all the changes coming in the next couple of years, it's hard to pick like, well, I don't want to say I don't appreciate the stuff that they're doing. I want this type of thing. And I think all those answers are either all those questions have been answered. Like, there's a Marvel Land, maybe a better Star Wars Land. There's no other significant properties right now that I think deserve like a land, unless they build off additional movies that haven't come out yet, like Frozen and Incredibles and that stuff like that. So I was like, okay, what would I like to do in my adultness and things that I've, kind of envisioned? Like, the first one is a Christmas resort, or maybe it's a holiday resort tour. But I kind of I think it'd be really cool to get like a private tour somehow. Maybe it's just monorail resort, so you can, maybe the transportation's easier for the group, that type of thing. But like, you go and you start at the Contemporary and see their Christmas decorations. You go over to the Polynesian, and then you go into the Grand Floridian and you see the gingerbread house, and which is now being built. That means I have to go to the Grand Floridian with my wife because she loves that thing. And then maybe you somehow get a private boat ride over to Fort Wilderness, or Wilderness Lodge, and see the big Christmas tree and everything else. Like, and then maybe expand it to other resorts if it makes sense logistically. But like, I think it'd be really cool to buy a package where you can get somebody that's knowledgeable of how they decorate and why they decorate a certain way to all the different resorts. Because all the resorts do a fantastic job decorating for the holidays.
Yeah, no, I like that one.
And there's no offering to help you kind of navigate that. And I think a lot of the hotels might actually give like free tours for a lot of that stuff on like a normal basis. I don't know if it's specifically.
Didn't they used to do? Am I making this up? But was there some sort of thing where they did like almost a progressive dinner on the monorail, where it like started at one resort for appetizers and then another? I don't know.
I don't remember this at all.
I thought they did something like that.
Yeah.
But they could do that for the Christmas stuff, where you kind of start at one place, like start at Wilderness Lodge and have a drink there or something like that, and go to the Contemporary and the Grand Floridian.
I mean, I think
cool.
No, I think it'd be really cool just to show off. Like, the resorts do a fantastic job decorating, or at least some of them. The ones that I've been to, for the most part, they do a great job, and I think they deserve to kind of be shown off and stuff like that. The next one is a resort package, right? I think the one thing that Disney struggles to do is because some of the deluxe resorts are very overly priced. Like we talked about that earlier, like $800 a night, that sort of thing. A design split stay experience. So like, you book 4 nights at, I don't know, Art of Animation, a Caribbean Beach Resort, and get a heavily, like a 50% off at maximum 2 nights at the Polynesian or whatever, right? This would be harder to kind of like link the availability at one hotel with another, right? Just from a operational point of view. But if you can kind of do that, I think it'd be really cool to be able to justify the cost of going from one hotel to the next. Obviously, they'd have the special things like taking your luggage over for you, making it easier, transportation, that sort of thing if you need it. But I'd really like to see like a resort. Maybe it's even like you could book 3 different deluxe resorts in a row, and they help you kind of facilitate that type of thing. I think that'd be really neat as a maybe just as a discount type of thing, maybe not as like a tour type of thing. We've talked about this before. I want after hour trips. Your retro after hours events like kind of inspired me to do this, and then like also I remember I think I'd done this already like a handful of times, at least for the last 2 years. Generally when they release the after hour events tickets for the next year for all the parks, they're like spread out. There's like 3 months of events, but like there's like typically 1, maybe 2 weeks where there might be 3 dates, all kind of like a Sunday, a Wednesday, and then the following Friday type of thing. And I think it would be really cool. I'm going to definitely do this with an adult only trip. Is I buy my hotel, and then I buy 3 events or 4 events, whatever, 4 days, 5 days, whatever it might be, and just go to the extra evening event. So it's like a 5-hour event or 4-hour event, whatever. It's a ticketed event, but have no day tickets. No normal tickets. So you show up on like a Monday, you go to the evening party on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you fly home on Friday or something else like that. I think that'd be a really cool experience. Probably more expensive because you're doing a more whatever type of thing. But I think that'd be a different experience at Disney World, which I think a lot of people are like asking for, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about that at once. We tried to figure out if you could do it. I think that would be a really interesting way to do it, and you could get more done, so you probably wouldn't need to do as many park days and stuff.
But here's the thing, like if you're paying for this, you're not worried about getting more things done, right? You're happy just being there. I think that's the vibe I'm going for. That's the vibe I'm going to try to test in a couple of days. My last one's is just a nut job like idea that would never really happen because I don't think you can't get up there and it's not supported for it, that type of thing. But I would love a party pavilion on the roof of Main Street. I think that'd be so awesome. Where like you could go up there, like just like anybody else goes to the roof of a building to watch the fireworks or watch a parade, like in New York City for like Thanksgiving Day parade, that type of thing. That's what I'm envisioning. Where you can spend some money, you go up there. It's not particularly catered, or you just get to be there and look down onto Main Street or out into the fireworks. I think that'd be really kind of fun to do. Extremely limited. That's probably like a club. Like I bet you Club 33 has something like this. You just never see those people because they're hidden behind some
I mean they definitely do on in Disneyland. The Club 33 is like it's over in New Orleans Square, and it kind of overlooks, and you can see the fireworks and stuff from there. I'm not sure if there's something in if you can from the one in Magic Kingdom that's over in Adventureland. Maybe you can. I don't know.
And maybe Adventureland, but I know Main Street itself, like those buildings are not built for people to be up there. That type.
No, I mean it's all forced perspective too, so they're not even.
I mean, even if they're like, even if it's like back enough, I don't know, line of sight's not an issue. But anyway, I think that'd be really neat.
No, that would be definitely cool.
But I think that might crowd and cheapen out the old school feeling of Main Street also. All right, so we've gone 60 minutes late on this, and we were contemplating do we need to add another section to the show as usual, and we did.
We did not.
Phil, no, we did not. Phil, what are we doing for next week's DBC engagement?
So for next week's, we are going to do
Do you want me? I'm sorry, I wrote this.
Yeah,
I just remember. Do you want me to read this because this is kind of a mean one, or do you want to own this one?
I'll own it. It's fine.
Okay, good.
Jason worded it this way, and
no,
I'll
you
translate
did not own it. You just gave me all the fault for it. Oh, how dare you, sir? How dare you?
It said, "Would you rather?" And your options are: you go to Disneyland, all expenses paid once a year for life, but you can never go to Walt Disney World again, or you get the same thing at Walt Disney World where you get to go once a year for a week, all expenses paid, but as part of it, you can't go to the Magic Kingdom
ever again.
So banned. It's sort of, what do you weigh more, Disneyland and having the castle park, or the other 3 parks that are down at Walt Disney World? And which would you prefer? And we're trying to, it's all expense paid so that you're not factoring in. It's like, well, this one's cheaper, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about taking money out of it. Which would you prefer to do? Disneyland, but then you don't get any of the parks in Florida, or the non-castle park in Florida?
Well phrased. I know what Vike Queen is going to answer. I know it because this is her personal podcast, so she's thinking about this right now. Obviously, Phil, did we forget anything that we need to mention before we go?
No, I think we're good. If you're still listening now, I probably should have said it earlier on, but we're a lot of states already have open early voting and stuff like that. We're coming up to election day, so just a motivator to for everyone to get out there and vote, make a plan, and bring your friends and vote.
Phil, that's an excellent message. I believe you are going to be a poll worker. Or
yes, I'll be working.
Volunteering?
Yeah, I'll be working at the poll in our town for that. So it'll be a nice long day. Hopefully it goes smoothly.
Awesome. Well, good for you. We appreciate your assistance there in your area. That being said, thank you for watching, everybody. This week, if you are at the Magic Kingdom this weekend, 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th, send a tweet out to the DBC pod, and maybe we can go say hello. Because I won't have kids. I can do whatever I want at Disney World. It's going to be fantastic. I wonder if I can find Drew the Disney Jew down there and run up behind him and surprise him, and then he doesn't freak out and call the police on me for accosting him. That being said, again, thank you for watching, listening, everybody. Take care.